Hello and welcome, my dear friends and students. I'm Mr. Shadi Amin, and actually this is one of the rare conditions that I go live because there's a very important thing I like to share with all of you here. First, I'm an English teacher. I've been teaching English for more than 10 years right now, and the thing I like you to know is how can we speak English fluently without having to study hard and go for many courses and get very poor results. All right, for doing this we have some points or some steps that we need to follow. Those steps are the following. Firstly, you have to listen a lot in the beginning of your English learning, and that could be using some of the websites I will say or I will mention right now. First, you can go for the website which is I really like, manythings.org. It contains a lot of things or a lot of articles that you can go for listening. Manythings.org. I will put it in the comment after finishing this video. We have also englishlab.com, which is very important and really effective. That's the first step. Listen a lot. After you listen, you need to understand what you are listening to. To do this, we have follow-up questions that we can answer after listening to the audio, and that could be found on the websites we have mentioned. So firstly, you need to listen, and secondly, you need to go for answering questions about what you have heard, so you are sure that you understand what you have listened to. There is a mistake some of my students are doing, which is they are going for translating what they are listening to. That's not good at all, because translation kills your language. Translation is not good at all for your language. So here, a small step, try to use English in order to learn English. Use English to understand English. This will be a little bit hard in the beginning, but afterwards you'll find that your learning is really great. Okay? That's first step. Second step, after you listen, try to focus on the following, which is answering questions. Learn to make questions when you listen to anything. Right now, for example, you heard this sentence: Adam is a doctor, he lives in Alexandria, Egypt. Try to go for changing this sentence into question and answer. So, who lives in Alexandria, Egypt? The answer is Adam. What does Adam do? He is a doctor. Where does he live? He lives in Alexandria, Egypt. When you go for changing any sentence you are listening to into question and answer, this will increase your ability to understand people who asks you in English, and following this by having the ability to answer them quickly without hesitation and using correct grammar. The third step is to go for reading stories, as it helps you to increase your vocabularies and help you also to go for knowing the grammar structure without having to study them. Reading is really important as an input when you are trying to learn English. So there are some stories that you might start with for kids, and afterwards you might go for a little bit harder level of stories. Okay, so here we have 3 steps. If you are following them, you are getting to speak English really well in a very short time. First step is to listen. Second step, understand what you are listening through converting it into question and answer. Third and last step, read about the topic. And one of the tricks I'm using with my students is getting them to read the transcript of the video or of the article we are listening to or we are watching. I hope you like this live. If there is any questions you like to ask me, if there are any kind of inquiries you like me to answer you with, I'll be more than glad to help you out with. I like the idea of live because it helps me to connect with people who are interested in learning English. And I'm a big fan of going to speak English and English in order to learn English. So I believe you will get a good benefit of listening to this video in English. Try as much as possible not to translate it in Arabic, and I hope you all best of luck. Have a good evening and see you later. Bye bye.